keeping those good feelings, keeping the momentum, because it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you have those stumbling blocks. What keeps you going? And you guys did hit on that. So if you do want to just say the same thing, that's totally okay.
During the grind, you have to schedule yourself time and take care of your health habits, because if you neglect these things, you'll fall apart and you'll never finish your project. So some sort of an exercise regimen and some sort of a dietary plan. Batch cooking your meals has been a huge time saver for me. It's mine. It's some sort of a routine that's going to keep you steady and even keeled. And the sunk time fallacy is, once you've got in so deep, you can only go further. You can't go back after that point.
There's absolutely a point where it just becomes so real that it cannot, like the point of no return is definitely gone. I definitely echo needing to create a line that defines your work-life balance, and definitely like finding things that are sometimes not games to engage in, just to like get your head out of that space. But for us is very much just as long as we're still having fun with the project itself. It hasn't hit like a monotony, even though there's times where making video games is like the least fun thing in the world. It's just moving files to like converting things from WAV to MP3 or just like bashing your head against this one bug. It's as long as you can find ways to keep the fun alive and then just morale high, then you can push through it.
You got to have ideas you like, or games you like to play, games you enjoy making. It's got to be rewarding to test it. Otherwise, it's just the testing gets really grueling. It's got to be something you like doing about it. So just keep making the right kind of games for yourself to play, and it's motivation.
I'd say be happy with who you're working with. If it's just yourself, make sure you enjoy spending time with yourself and your brain. But we've been friends for over 20 years, and we just get to hang out. And it's either we're playing a co-op game or we're building a game. So it's like, if we can laugh our butts off, why not, right?
All right, now I got a two-parter. I'm in an interesting position where I'm currently working on this game part-time. I have a 9-to-5 full-time day job that demands a lot out of me. So it's very difficult for me to find that motivation to spend 2 or 3 hours on a given night to work on things. Two things I found that have really helped me going forward. One, and these guys have touched on already, is health. Keep yourself active, keep yourself eating well, batch cooking, all that good stuff. It really helps, especially when you have like as limited time as limited a time as you have. You want to make sure that you're efficient with it. And then for me personally, it's breaking down. If I have a big feature that I want to implement, I break it down into smaller, manageable tasks that I can accomplish within a night. If I'm creating a new level, well, maybe the first night is just going to be just getting all the setup happening, which maybe will take me an hour. And then the next night it'll be, setting up the relevant assets just without all the animations and stuff and testing that and seeing if that works. Then putting in the animations, then full-blown play testing, so that by the end of the week, all those little things that you've done progress into something that you can, reach the end of the week and go, okay, great, let's do this again next week.
So we're going to talk about, you guys have been really active in the community, getting your games out. Tony, I don't think I follow your posts really closely. You are constantly doing a tour of the general area, getting tournaments on, getting people to play your game. I'm sorry if I'm cutting into your actual answer right now. But yeah, we want to talk about what's your secrets to getting the game out into people's hands. What would you suggest to anyone else who wanted to make their own indie game, and some of the pitfalls that are a part of social media as a whole?
Create a social media account day one. Anytime you're building something new. If you want to associate it with your game, great. If you're a new company getting off the ground, like I was at that time that I started, that I wanted to, build games, day one, do that. And just get out to as many events as you can. And when you do, no matter how big or small the event is, you advertise and publicize it like it's the biggest event you've ever been to. I treat every event with the same amount of importance when I advertise it, in that I want to make sure that people know where I am and know that I'm here showing off my stuff. Because I primarily do like most of the non-development work when it pertains to DEPOWER Ball. Use TweetDeck. Schedule your tweets. It helps.
I don't have a secret. I wish I did. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I got nothing. I understand social media, but it's like it's just so much. Honestly, it's probably as much work as developing the game. Truthfully, to be constantly telling people, and you get kind of, as you said, imposter syndrome. It's like I feel like I've repeated myself a million times, but if I went outside and asked what Shwip is, no one's gonna know, right? So you really gotta pump it out. So if we can make a bot or something, I don't know, that's probably illegal or I don't know, something. You have a secret?
I don't have a secret either.
Like I was saying before, like consistency is really key. Just make sure that you're always talking, you're always engaging with your audience, not just in like main posts, but like just replying to people, having fun with people. I think tone's a big thing. We try to keep it very human on our social media presence. Make it very clear that we're a small team. We're not, we'd love to be a AAA thing, but we're not. But we're just a small team that's making something that we really care about. Hopefully if people who care about it find us, come join us. But we try to have fun with things that aren't just, sounding really corporate about like, here's our feature of the day. Like we've had shirts made up of like our one of our characters, Heckbane, wears this like very now iconic muscle shirt that says "Swole for Souls." There's pictures on our social media of like the ones that we've personally made of me like wearing them and posing like Heckbane, and just having fun with it. On top of that, I guess would just be to make sure you have a call to action and places for people to go. Big thing for us has been like managing and cultivating our Discord presence. We're in early access, and that's the big thing for us is just getting people's hands on it, what they think, what kind of things does the community dislike about it, and just being able to condense people's thoughts into one place is really nice. And spreading too far can be a little tough to manage.
Clickbait. Give your post something that's going to encourage someone who reads it. Usually, Twitter seems to be the go-to social media outlet for video game indie dev today, and that's been true for the last 2 years at least. So, Screenshot Saturdays is the hashtag to use generally, and then there's other ones creeping up. Indie Dev Hours on Wednesdays, I think. But to give a video. Something graphical is always going to do better than just text. So whatever your graphic is, or if it's a GIF or a small video, give some sort of a caption that's going to encourage the viewer to see through the end. Like, oh, wait till the end. That's the cliche one. But
you guys have been talking about some of the systems you've been putting your games onto. We've been hearing about getting the games onto Steam. What made you choose the platform? What made you choose the engines you're working with, or where you wanted to distribute them? What was that push? You can just say money. That's one thing too.
X.O is coming to Steam. That's sort of the second step, really. There's itch.io. It's kind of a platform for indie developers everywhere to use. But if you're going to make a commercial product and you want to release it, Steam is your first avenue. Beyond that, well, I can't really speak beyond that. It's Steam because it's available.
Definitely Steam right now for our early access. Like I was saying, we wanted to really build the community going towards our full launch, but also just to make sure, like for fighting games, like a big thing is just making sure the netcode is solid, that feels like a good experience, so people are going to want to keep playing it. So before we wanted to get into our full launch, which will be on all platforms, we just wanted to make sure that like people were actually trying it out, trying to like kind of stress test it, and just seeing how the community reacts to our mechanics, and see like what are they excited about, what things could we adjust as we move forward through our roadmap. So early access was an important step for us. We will be launching on all major platforms, and that's just to get it into as many people's hands as possible.
Availability is definitely the big factor. And in our case, it's developed on Unity now, but it didn't start that way. we sort of forced our hand when we started developing it in XNA, and then the new Xbox One wouldn't support it anymore, so we had to think of something to do. So we sort of like rebuild things, and it gives you more. You have to rework a lot of things, but it allows more opportunity to with Unity.
We're ID at Xbox partners. We're from way back in the day, so they sent us dev kits and all that. So that's a huge plus. Microsoft's awesome in that point because it's free, and I'm sure we can pump cash into it buying a PS3 dev kit or a PS4 dev kit. But it's, I mean, money's one factor, but obviously you want to be on all. But we chose Xbox and PC to start, and then who knows from there? Maybe Switch, maybe PS4 in the future.
You know, all the same sentiments when it comes to Steam. You know, visibility, money, what have you. DEPOWER Ball is built in Unity. Why Unity for me? Familiarity. I've been building prototypes on Unity since version 1.5. If you're old enough to remember when 1.5 was released, which was probably about 8 years ago, 9 years ago. So Unity, I've been following along for a very long time, very familiar with it. That's why I use it.
Just talking about Unity, I think we had this conversation last time. Unity back in the day couldn't handle sprites. Yeah, it's a brave new world. You would even say it's the future. So what brings your companies towards the future? What should we expect from DEPOWER Ball? What do we expect from Shwip or the companies themselves?
Right now, I am at a point where core gameplay is as solid as it's going to get. I'm building out some brand new game modes as I speak, so that when the eventual time comes for an early access release, which I'm hoping will be late spring, early summer, we'll have more than enough content for gamers to sink their teeth into. Outside of that, I'm flying by the seat of my pants so far. We'll see what happens.
Step one, get Shwip 100% launched. Next is we have to port it to Xbox, which is just a flip of a switch. But Xbox provisioning and certification is like a 4, 5, 6 month process. So you got to get it in early. But as for the future,
we've got some other ideas in early development or even earlier than that. There's one game we started making at a Toe Jam, the weekend game developing. So it's like a party game where you takes place in an office setting. It's called Pink Slip Racers. You race your chairs around trying to get fired the fastest or the worst or yeah. So we have like the basics of that, and then we'll flesh that out and make it into like a party game.
Yeah, we got a big roadmap of things that we're going to be dropping throughout the next couple of months. The next like week, basically, we're dropping our story content for all the main characters, all the playable characters in arcade mode. We've announced with our launch trailer that we have 2 guest characters that we're developing. We partnered with Platonic for Ukulele, as well as Human Nature's Toe Jam and Earl. As a classic Sega aficionado, that makes me very excited. And just working with the Platonic people has just been fantastic. So very excited for those. We're going to be dropping over the next couple months. But yeah, we plan new characters, plan new stages. We're going to be doing a regularly scheduled community stream we're setting up very soon, and just kind of keep adding until we finally hit launch.
After rescoping, XO goes just out of prototype phase, really. So I've got like another year of dev ahead of me. So I hope we can make it to some other project one day.
Because this is February, it's the month of love, we want to talk about favorite game characters that you guys like to ship. So if you guys have any favorites, you want to talk about it. If not, don't worry. But yeah.
I kind of miss this meme. This one's beyond me. Master Chief and Cortana, right? Everyone knew something was going on there.
I'm gonna go with Solid Snake and Otacon. I always thought that was a great pairing, and I loved seeing how, like, when they first meet, they kind of hate each other because they're just so incompatible, but then it just sort of blossoms into this like amazing friendship, and then like they're eventually living together and have a child by MGS4. So like I love those characters and just the way that they should not fit together at all, but totally do.
Another 2-part. The 2 guys, I think it's there for that reason. The 2 guys from Portal, I forgot their names. Like, that was one of the best games I've ever played co-op, just listening to those guys interact with each other. And then if anyone's played Thief, Garrett from Thief, he's like low key one of the best characters ever, and one of the best voice actors. So
I've just always wanted to see what would happen if Peach gave Bowser a chance. That's it.
Big thank you to everyone who came out. We're just going to have everyone go through their names as well as their game. And once again, we can't do this without the Microsoft Store, the Hand-Eye Society, and Trios College. Big thank you to everyone who came out today for the February Play to Practice.
Antonio Micheli, Mega Power Games, DEPOWER.
Robert Bava, Shwip, Jamhammer Games.
And I'm John Paul Welsh, Shwip Jamhammer Games.
I'm Orie Falconer on Mighty Fight Federation with Comey Games.
Kevin Sheaves, Studio Backpack with XO.
And this has been the disembodied voice of Rocco Camiso with Tip Chair. Thank you all. Remember, play to practice.